Views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
Let's talk about your juicy love with me, Una Drake. We explore relationships, dating, sacred union, communication, conscious love, healthy boundaries, and much more. As a dating and relationship coach for over 5 years, with a background in shamanic healing and metaphysical work, I've helped men and women, young and old, from all walks of life. My mission is to increase peace, joy, and love on planet Earth. So listen in and stay juicy.
Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Pat, and I am so thrilled about being here today with Una Drake. Now, let me tell you why. Today, we're going to be giving away free Juicy Love Strategy sessions with Una. And why is this important? Well, here's what I love about this show and what we're talking about and why this is important is, we can look at relationships from a really kind of interesting hit or miss point of view. And what that means is it's literally, like I said, it's either hit or miss. You either get lucky or you don't. Or you can have a fabulous strategy that's put together by somebody that's, leading in the field of this. So today, whether you're watching us on Facebook Live or you're listening on whatever channel you might be listening on, for those of you that might be listening to a podcast, go to Facebook Live or go to Transformation Talk Radio on YouTube. You're going to be able to catch all of this. Find your juicy love is what we're talking about. Now, I want to say this as I introduce Una to all of you. Your juicy love is not lost. What's lost is our ability to really seek out and understand, A, what juicy love is, and then the dynamic nature of connecting with it. So today, Una, who is this amazing coach, leader, brings together people to understand this sacred union, to understand communication, to understand relationships, to understand dating, boundaries, all of the above. Why? Because they're all related. And so today in the show, we are literally going to take, as soon as I fix my headset, we're originally going to take it all on. And what I was just sharing with her, it's really interesting to know how we show up in the world, but there's how we see ourselves. Wait a minute. But then there's how other people sees us. And unless you have another person to reflect back at you, and I have a best friend that does that for me, unless you know what that is, you don't know the mistakes that are out there that could be made. And better yet, we want you to be successful. So today we're going to kick it off by talking about the 3 things you need for a relationship that works. Una, good to have you here.
Great to be here, Dr. Pat. Thank you.
So, I did a brief introduction so people could get to know who you are and a little bit about you. But more importantly, it is a strategy that we need. We don't want to play hit or miss love.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's what so many people do. But I believe in having an integrated dating plan, and that's what I work with my clients to put together for themselves so that they can really have clarity about what they really need in a relationship and in a partner. And then I give them specific steps to find that so they can do focused and accelerated dating so they can find the partner that they're looking for faster than a lot of them thought possible. And also have tools to deal with the emotional challenges that do come up inevitably. I've never known someone who's dated or been in the dating process and had everything go completely smoothly. That's just
I have never heard of it either. Yeah. If that is somebody if you all are out there and you are that person, go to Transformation Talk Radio on Facebook or give us a call right now. Because,
absolutely.
All of us get out there in the world not knowing, but I love getting out there in the world and admitting that I don't know what I don't know. And I'm telling you, if you've been single or you've been dating, and I've thought about this, this is a really interesting conversation. I have been single a really long time. Now, I got to tell you, I am not unhappy. I'm not that, right?
That's
You know what
great.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not unhappy and I'm not desperate. But we're not talking about dating ourselves and loving ourselves. We're talking about like dating another person. We're talking about relationship with another person today.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And certainly it is important to focus on, loving yourself, but it's a different dynamic when you're focused on, a relationship with another person. And, definitely you can have a healthier relationship with another person the more that you love and honor yourself and you have healthy boundaries. So, you're expecting to be treated right and you're, not, you're putting that out into the world and attracting someone who treats you the way that you expect to be attracted to, the way that you deserve to be treated. But yeah, it's different when you're, focusing on a relationship with another person is different than just focusing on a relationship with yourself and that, the self-love dynamic.
Exactly. So let's talk about what are these three things. I know we got a lot to talk about today. We're going to talk about, what are the three things we need for the relationship? What is the emotional availability that we need in dating? And then what does this new dating landscape look like? It's certainly very different than going down to Studio 54. Now I'm dating myself. But it's certainly different than that world. So from your experience, there are three things you've discovered that work. What are they? Can we share it, a little secret?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I put together this flashcard. I don't know if people can see that.
I love the flashcard.
I call it the HAP triangle, and it stands for hotness, availability, and proximity. So I know this is a little bit of a do it yourself at home visual aid, but there you go. And basically, you need the three things for a relationship that really works. And each of those three things, the hotness, the availability, the proximity, there's different layers of each of those, but you need all of them to be present for a relationship that actually works. Hotness, that's kind of a tongue-in-cheek term, but that's the term I use for like attraction, that chemistry, that spark between people that makes it a romantic relationship as opposed to just a platonic friendship. Friendships are great, but I'm talking for people who want, a juicy love, that want, that romantic and sexual dynamic, with a special person in their life. So it's not just a platonic friendship. So you need that attraction. You need that chemistry. That's very important.
Right.
And then, of course, availability. And obviously, at a bare bones level, there's relationship availability. Like, are you available to be in a relationship? But beyond that, there's emotional availability, which you were mentioning before.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
that's incredibly important because in the dating field, people have many different layers of emotional availability. And it's important that you find someone who has a similar level of emotional availability to what you're looking for. So, for some people they want to share a lot of emotions. They want to have, a deep partnership with their partner. So you need to find somebody who has that capacity to do that as well, if that's what you're looking for. Now, if you want not that, there's tons of people available for, a less deep relationship. So I'm not saying one is better than another, but know what you want and then find somebody who can meet you there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And at the same time, one of the things that I know is that there are degrees of hotness that we should talk about. There is the pop culture of Hollywood hotness. And for me, the thing that I know is that here we are in the world, and we think we have to be like Hollywood. When we come back, I want to talk about that because here we are. We're looking at our lives. We're being measured, and we measured ourselves against. Come on, we're not all Cindy Crawford.
You definitely.
Right?
You definitely do not need to look like a Hollywood movie star at all.
Right.
There's so many different levels to the hotness. Absolutely. We'll totally get into that.
Let's take a short break. We'll be right back. When we come back, are you doing your own hotness test right now? Well, what we want to say is don't. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. We're going to sizzle it up.
Seeing you got ritualistic, cleansing my soul of addiction.
Integrate spirituality into your everyday lives on Universe Soul Heart Radio. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio as Kathleen Johnson explores the concept of sensible spirituality, keeping you grounded, connected, and centered on the path to wholeness. Kathleen has dedicated her life to facilitating holistic healing and wholeness in others. Listen to Universe Soul Heart Radio and learn how to flourish, grow, and impact all we do on planet Earth. For more information, go to universesoulheart.net.
Tune in to the hit show Raging Skillet Radio, Mouthing Off with Chef Rossi. Chef Rossi mouths off about different subjects in pursuit of breaking down walls and opening up your minds. She and Dr. Pat banter back and forth, taking from the headlines of the day on subjects that reach beyond what goes on in the world into your hearts. And go to theragingskillet.com to find out more and let Chef Rossi know what's on your mind.
Holistic Medical Center is where you find it all. A healthy space with doctors who care, see, and listen to the whole you. Hi, this is Dr. Darvish. If you have not found an answer to your chronic symptoms, you will find answers here at Holistic Medical Center. Our doctors find the root cause of your symptoms and guide your body towards healing naturally. We transform lives from within. Visit drdarvish.com or call 425-451-0404.
Are you traveling most of your day? Do you want to take Transformation Talk Radio with you anywhere you go? Well, guess what? There's an app for that. Just go to the App Store on your Apple device or the Google Play Store on your Android and search Transformation Talk Radio. Catch all of our live shows no matter where you are. Thanks for listening.
Tune into the wisdom of your soul for guidance on living a joyful life. On Soul Wisdom Radio, Wendy will provide inspiration to raise your vibration and connect with your higher self and guides. Learn how to balance your ego and to progress spiritually on Soul Wisdom Radio with Wendy Rose Williams. Visit wendyrosewilliams.com or Transformation Talk Radio to learn more about a healing session with Wendy and her events and publications.
The Janice Underwood Show, helping you create the life you want, not the life you tolerate. Tune in each Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio as Janice delves into the Life Creator System and the next step in your spiritual evolution. Janice Underwood is gifted at helping spiritually minded people shift their mindsets to unleash the creator within. Our souls wish to wake us up. Those of us listening hear the call. Do you? For more information, visit janiceunderwood.com.
Between us, just like big fences. You got issues that I won't mention for now, 'cause we're falling apart.
Hey everybody, welcome back. This is your Juicy Love. I'm Dr. Pat and I'm here with Una Drake. And what Una gets to do is she gets to work with all of you and gets to help bring people together, but bring them together in a way that's juicy. We talked about the things that you need for a relationship to work. The thing we're going to talk about now is how do you get yourself emotionally ready for it? And there's this question around emotional availability. But before we jump ahead at that, Una, would you let folks know how they can find out more about you. And then we're also going to be giving away a free Juicy Love strategy session with you as well. So tell
Absolutely.
folks all about that.
Sure. Yeah. Well, you can go to my website, unadrake.com, and there you can sign up for a Juicy Love strategy session with me. You can go to the tab Talk with Una. It's actually a little bit. You can find it on my page, and there'll be a link in the show on to the strategy session page. And in it's a 20-minute session where I'll help you give you specific steps to address and overcome your biggest challenge that you're having in your dating life. And I'll give you specific steps to move forward to finding the relationship that you want. So
Awesome.
It's hard to get more detailed than that because people have all sorts of different situations. So I just need to help them where they're at and then give them steps that can move them to the next place, whatever that is for them.
Awesome. Okay, so let's talk about this emotional business. Emotional availability. Somebody said to me when I was telling them about today's show, they said to me, that's like an oxymoron. Is that like even like two things that can happen together? Okay, ball's in your court. Una, tell us about how it works.
Emotional availability?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, that's like, how vulnerable are you willing to be with another person? In vulnerability, emotional vulnerability can be really scary. And, so many of us go through life, basically with like a wall around our heart, because pretty much all of us, by the time you get to adulthood, we've all had some, emotional bruises here and there. But it's still important to be able to, to open up that wall and to open up to at least, some people. I mean, you want to be able to be emotionally available to a partner. And I mean, most of us do. If you want, a deep, juicy relationship, then you're going to have to be able to let the wall down. And you want to find a partner who can also let their wall down as well. You can think of it as like kind of a castle wall. You have to, it's okay to, not have your, it's okay to have boundaries. It's okay to have some protection up in appropriate situations, but you have to be able to, let down the drawbridge, so to speak, and, different people have different levels of kind of emotional barriers that are going on. But, you need to be able to open yourself up. To me, that's part of the process of, honestly, kind of development in the dating process, is being willing to open up and do that in a way that's safe, or relatively safe. And, basically, some people are more able to emotionally engage than others. And if you look at like attachment theory, honestly, this is one of the things I wanted to bring up in here.
Yeah, let's talk about attachment theory, because this is really good to talk about.
Yeah, so it sounds like you're familiar with it. Some people are and some people aren't, but people who have a secure attachment style are more able to be emotionally available. They welcome emotional closeness with a partner, and they generally tend to be really good at, the emotional availability, and they tend to be really emotionally intelligent. And they tend to be able to form, relationships that are really, positive and long-term. But other attachment styles, more specifically like the anxious and honestly avoidant. It's the avoidant attachment style. When avoidants get close in a relationship, they tend to get kind of scared, and they get kind of weird, and they will tend to leave, either completely like leave the relationship, as in like break up, or they will remove themselves at least temporarily from that close situation. And so that's where you get situations where people don't call you back for a week, or kind of will ghost you, or in the dating world, in the world of dating, people who are not comfortable with emotional closeness will just tend to, they might get close at first, but then they'll disappear. And it's good to be able to spot that and understand what's going on. And then, part of having healthy boundaries is to, say, well, this is, to know what's okay for you. Like, do you want, obviously, I mean, I don't recommend staying with somebody who doesn't call you back for a week. That wouldn't be a boundary that I would be comfortable with. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I think that, what we're talking about here is really looking at the range of emotions and what that means to be emotionally available to people. But more importantly, there is an emotional availability that can come with being open, and that's open to explore, as opposed to be, there's a difference between emotional availability and emotional vulnerability, and they're not the same. And so what I hear you saying is we have to learn some discernment, especially if here we are, we're coming out of the gate, and this is the first time we've ever met someone, and we don't know, like, if we've met them online, there is a question mark with how emotionally available should we be? And I think that's really the question, not to really have a strategy for that is of concern and should be a concern for a lot of people, right?
Well, I think I'm not sure exactly. I might need you to restate the question, because I think we can be emotionally available, and that, like you said, openness is a big factor in that. Also approaching, life in general, like with an attitude of curiosity, openness, positivity. Those are all aspects of emotional availability, at least the way that I look at it. It's like looking at something and, being curious about it, being curious about the person that you're going to meet if you're going to a first date, for example, being open to what they have to say, being open to exploring who they are as a person, and being open to sharing yourself as well, at least to a certain extent. Obviously you want to have some boundaries around that. Now, you were making a distinction between emotional availability and emotional vulnerability. And that's an interesting distinction. And yes, I think that you need to be emotionally available, but I think in a close relationship, there's going to be some vulnerability. I don't think that you can avoid vulnerability within a close, juicy relationship.
No.
One of the things I say sometimes.
I agree completely. I think what I'm trying to say is, I think you have to know when you're in one and when you're in the other. And there may be both. I think the work that you do is to help people understand there are many faces to this. There are many faces to emotional anything, right? And especially in the context of when we're sitting across from somebody that may become our future so-and-so, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a process. And as much as advice as I give out and stuff like that, I can't necessarily make it all neat and tidy all the time. I mean, it's not a neat and tidy process. I mean, you can put forms and structures around it to, which I do to help my clients move forward. But when it comes down to it, I mean, and you are feeling emotions and they're coming up. I mean, it's juicy, and it's going to be alive. It's going to be real, and you're in it. And, I give my clients as much guidance as I can, but, there's no guarantee that it's going to be comfortable or easy.
Right.
That's That's just the way it is. Now, I help my clients to get as confident as they can as they're going into a first date, or going into any date, really.
Yeah.
I believe that the best way to show up on a date is with, confidence, to know that you have options, for example, and that, you know who you are and you know what you have to offer, and you're really standing in that as, you're standing in your own value and worth as a person, and that you know that you have options, and that you're just going to a date with not a lot of a first date with not a lot of expectations, ideally, because you want to be able to just be available, in an available, open space, but not be needy and not, just be able to interact and just, evaluate, really. I mean, is this a good person? Give them a good chance, give them a good benefit of the doubt, but also be able to be in yourself, and be able to authentically see if it's going to work, or if you want a second date.
Be in the power of it. When we come back, we're going to talk about what is this dating landscape we're talking about. I mean, what is it? What do we think it is? But then what is it really? Based on your years and years of experience, I mean, you have seen it all. The question is, what is it when you step into this world and you don't know what end is up? The work that you do is also to help people understand what the stepping process is. We're going to take a short break, Una. When we come back, you're going to take us on a journey smack dab into the dating landscape and how to be our juicy, juicy best. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I got my eyes on you. You're everything that I see. I won't show high love and emotion endlessly. I can't get over.
Live your magnificence. For the Love of Joy is a precious gift offered to us by Robert Schoenfeld, host of the Art of Powerful Living Radio. He takes us on an incredible 30-day adventure to expand our minds and hearts with the nectar of life, love, and joy. This book will help you bring more joy, love, health, abundance, adventure, romance, and magnificence into your life.
Get ready to experience Truth Talk Radio with host Deb Acker. Tune in to Truth Talk Radio each Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com to illuminate the truth in your daily life as you experience life, love, and abundance from a whole new perspective. This hit show will leave you feeling lighter and bring you into a place of infinite possibilities every day in every way. Visit TruthTalkRadioshow.com for upcoming transformative topics and guests.
Did you know that all of the shows on the Transformation Radio Network are available as podcasts to stream or download?
Really?
Check us out. Go to transformationradio.fm. We have business shows, spiritual shows, energy healing shows, and pretty much everything in between. Something for everyone, guaranteed to inspire, educate, and transform. We are transforming the world, one listener at a time.
Calling all moms, it's time to awaken your vibrant, intuitive, loving self in every area of your life. Join host Debbie Pokornik as she shares thoughts, stories, and tools to help you stand in your power. Listen to Vibrant, Powerful Moms, helping everyday women create extraordinary lives. Mondays at 2:30 Pacific, 5:30 Eastern. For more information about Debbie, visit empoweringenergy.com. That's empowering with letters NRG.com.
In this day and age, if you don't reinvent yourself, you may never find balance, peace, and the sustainable life that is your birthright. Angela Watson Robertson, known as the Reinvention Warrior and the host of breakthrough radio show Masters of Reinvention, is here to help you reinvent every area of your life. Tune in and hear from the best in the personal transformation business and discover tips and tools for positive change. Live every month on Transformation Talk Radio.
Are
Are you searching? Looking for a sign? A message you need to hear? From the great unknown, from the most mysterious place that is the most familiar to your soul in the depths of who you are. The universe put someone here to talk to, someone God gave a blessing to, that you may find insight with. TheAngelLady.net. 1-800-323-1790. 1-800-323-1790.
I got my eyes on you. You're everything that I see. I won't show high love and emotion endlessly. I can't get over you.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. Una Drake joining me here today. I'm Dr. Pat. For more information about me, look at So Easy. Google Dr. Pat. You can try that, or you can go to transformationtalkradio.com. And the other day, one of you actually even Googled crust busting. Yes, it's up. And actually, we're going to be bringing a crust busting hour back. For Una, wow, she's made it like so super easy. You can go to unadrake.com, UNA-Drake.com. And when you get there, what you're going to find is this juicy love image, which is kind of cool, and all about the work that she does to help people so that when you decide you're going to enter this dating landscape, as we're calling it today, you're confident, you're ready to go. You have a vision of juicy love in your life. You understand what emotional availability is. This is what she does to work with people all over the world. And beyond all of that, it's helping her guide you in places that you've never been before. Una, a question came in, and I'm trying to look at my phone and everything else at the same time. But this is a good question before we talk about landscape, the dating landscape. And the question is coming in from Joanne in, I think that's Boston. And the question is, listen, you're talking about juicy love, but I would like to ask you to, yes, talking to us about you too, I'd like to ask you to, can you tell us what a juicy love means to you? What is juicy love?
Yeah,
knowing that I'm in the juicy love or I'm in the dried up love.
Yeah, I do use juicy as like the opposite of dried up, but I say that juicy stands for joyful, union, inspiring, creative yes. So it's about juicy love is it's creative, it's inspiring, it's joyful. It says it inspires you to say yes, yes to life, yes to creativity, yes to spirit, and yes to, partnership, and yes to love. It's an opening and expanding type of love and connection instead of, not restricted. It's not restricted, not, downward or, not contained. It's juicy.
Yeah.
And, so it's joy and bliss, expansion. It's alive, basically I think that love is like the nature of the universe. Essentially, it's like the nature of creation. It's the nature of, how nature works. And I think when we're in the flow of juicy love and we have juicy love in our life, maybe I'm getting a little bit philosophical about it, but I think that we can bring that life energy, that creativity, that union to a relationship. I think ideally, when we're in a juicy love with another person, that there's creativity, it's dynamic, there's growth going on. And again, it's not always comfortable, but it is inspiring, it is creative, it is, life affirming. Does that make sense?
It totally makes sense. I think I want to get back to what I said before, and this really leads into the conversation about the dating landscape. We are in a world now where everybody gets to be connected with everybody from all over the world. As a matter of fact, this morning I was on a call in Poland and another call in India. And so we are wide open in the landscape of possibilities, right? And so the question is, what is juicy? And I think that really for us to talk about it is there are examples we can point to. Clearly, you're working with people and you see them connect with others. And, that would be described as connecting and having that juicy experience, right? And I think that's really the key here is, first of all, letting everybody know having a juicy relationship is really our birthright. Everything else is noise in the channel. It's a blip in the matrix. And yet, how do we maneuver ourselves to keep our eye on the target? And that's what you're going to talk about now. This dating landscape, right? What does it look like? And how do we even begin to get through it?
Sure. Yeah. Well, the dating landscape today is definitely different than it was, say, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, et cetera. Definitely, I think people have less time now to meet other people, especially, offline. And a lot of times I'll hear from people who, are newly single in their, 30s, 40s, 50s and above. And, maybe they just went through a divorce, or maybe their partner passed away, or for whatever reason, they're re-entering the dating process as, at midlife or beyond. And oftentimes people are very surprised to find what they're up against factors that didn't seem to be an issue when they were maybe in their early 20s or in college, that kind of thing. And so one of the things that I often have to work with people on, just to set expectations where they, with reality, in alignment with reality, is that, very few of us meet enough people in our daily life, especially people who are the right age or the right gender, are truly available for a relationship and so on. Most of us don't meet enough people who meet the basic requirements of what we're looking for in a relationship in our regular life to realistically think that we're going to meet a partner who works for us, that meets the basic requirements that we're looking for. Most people are not going to run into that person in their daily life. I don't care how much you meditate or how many affirmations you say, you're just not going to run into them in the frozen peas aisle at Safeway. It's for most people, that's just not going to happen. And if you're just going through life thinking that, you're just going to focus on positive thoughts and suddenly run into them, for most people, it's just not going to happen. And so what I do encourage people to use online dating and to be focused and know what they're looking for, because otherwise, honestly, I think it's kind of fantasy, unless you happen to be in a profession or, a situation where you're meeting lots of people who are in the right age range, of the right gender, et cetera, in your daily life. Like if you meet at least, say, 50 to 100 new people every week who are, maybe are at least in the ballpark of what you're looking for, you might be able to go with that. But for most people don't. Most people see the same people day in, day out. And, they maybe meet maybe 5 or 10 new people a week if they're lucky, just in the course of their daily life. And that's just not enough for most people to find a relationship that actually works for them, because think about it. You got to narrow down by so many different factors. We talked about hotness, which could, the attraction, and that of course could include what age range they are, what age range you're looking for. And then again, availability, but then proximity, do they actually live close enough to you to have to make a relationship practical. I mean, how often are you going to be able to see them? I mean, another factor of availability that we didn't get to earlier, we talked about relationship status availability, and we talked about emotional availability. But the third aspect of availability that I think is really important is time availability.
Yeah.
And, and if you have to travel 2 hours just to meet somebody, for coffee or something, or to meet up at all, there's probably not a lot of time available to actually date.
Yeah, I got to tell you, look, you're hitting something right now that we don't give enough time or energy or thought to right here. There's a very good reason I am single, and that is because given my vision and what I'm doing here and my team of people and my commitment to them, you know what? I'm dating my business right now because we're on a mission. So it would be highly unfair for me to think about, to start anything with any consistency. It would be literally insanity and disappointment, and the fact that nobody likes to not show up, right? So you really nailed something so very important. The question, though, is, and let's talk about this when we come back, the question is, how do you put it all together? How do you put it all together? Let's take a short break when we come back. The integrated dating plan, Una Drake in the house. Given all of these things we've talked about, what is the best way to go about this and get a successful result? We'll be right back.
You've been running around, throwing that dirt all on my name. 'Cause you knew that I'd call you up. You've been going around every party in LA. 'Cause you knew that I'd be at one.
Tune in each month to Synergenetic Living Radio, where Rick and Grace Paris discuss the synergenetic way of life. What it means to truly change your perspective in life. What it means to take control of your life and manifest your true desires. For more information on Rick and Grace Paris and Synergenetic Living, check out synergeneticliving.com. Get clear on the life you desire and the current life you are creating and what is between the two. Synergenetic Living, living life loud.
Gain powerful insight and practical tools to support you on your spiritual journey. Access your higher self and tune in every second and fourth Thursday at 12 p.m. Pacific to A Life Untethered with Andrew Martin and now co-host Jeremy Nudell. Walking the Path of Freedom. Andrew is a highly attuned, intuitive oracle, energy worker, spiritual teacher, and international radio host. For more about Andrew and his services, visit andrewmartin.energy.
Winning at the game of money. Lynn Brown is now offering Full Spectrum Finance, a progressive 12-month program that will help you to navigate through the mechanics of financial expansion. Finally, a financial planner who looks at the full spectrum of money and abundance. Engage you in the mental, physical, and energetic aspects of finance. This is Full Spectrum Finance. Are you ready to get into it? For more information, go to fullspectrumfinance.com.
Stay juicy. Tune in to Your Juicy Love with me, Una Drake, co-hosting monthly with Dr. Pat, and every second Monday at 12 p.m. on Transformation Talk Radio. My show, Your Juicy Love, helps you find the dynamic, life-affirming love you've always wanted. Transform your relationships and bring peace, joy, and juicy, juicy love to planet Earth. For more information, visit unadrake.com.
Do you want to heal your body and mind? Your body has a lot to tell you if you just learn to listen to your intuition. Audrey Michelle, host of Rewired Life Radio, can help you peel away the layers that are holding you back from living your best life. Tune in to Rewired Life Radio. Learn to love, heal, celebrate on Transformation Talk Radio every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. Connect with Audrey at audreymichelle.com.
Choose the new earth on the Cornelia Stephanie Show. Tune in each week on Transformation Talk Radio as Cornelia takes listeners on an odyssey of higher consciousness to inspire, educate, and empower. Cornelia guides people on the path of self-healing, peace, and liberation. The Cornelia Stephanie Show is your catalyst for anchoring heaven on earth on a global scale. For more information, go to corneliastephanie.com.
And now I'm all up on you. What you expect? But you're not coming home with me tonight. You just want attention. You don't want my heart. Baby, you just hate the thought of me with someone new. Yeah, you just want attention. I knew from the start. You're just making sure I'm never getting over you.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. Yeah, we're talking about Juicy Love. Una, one of the things, again, please tell folks how they connect with you directly. I know in this segment, we're going to take people on a journey as to what this actually looks like. And thank you for joining us here today and doing it. So again, how can people contact you? And then please tell us how we put all of this together.
Sure. Yeah. Well, you can go to my website, unadrake.com, and you can sign up for my Get Ready for Juicy Love program, and you'll get your dating clarity worksheet, and you'll get a series of emails from me. So it's basically like a short email class where you'll get ready for Juicy Love. You'll get clarity on what you're looking for, what kind of partner you're looking for, what kind of relationship you're looking for. And I'd love to talk with you in a Juicy Love strategy session. You can get that directly on my site. You can go to the Talk with Una button right on my homepage. And I'd love to talk with you and help you find your Juicy Love. So Dr. Pat, you asked, how do I work with people? Well, I help my clients put together an integrated strategy session, and this is basically 4 parts. And the first part is clarity. So, if you sign up for my Get Ready for Juicy Love program, you're going to be starting on that process anyway, because you're going to get my 3-page dating clarity worksheet where you'll get to describe in detail, honestly, like what you're really looking for, what factors are really important to you. One of my favorite questions on that worksheet is, what are the top 5 feelings or emotions that you want to experience on a regular basis with your ideal partner or in your ideal relationship? And I find that question so interesting, and most people haven't even thought about it before. But I find it just, all the questions, honestly, on that worksheet are so revealing. So, and they'll really help you get clarity in what you're looking for. The second step in the integrated dating plan is having a focused and accelerated dating. And so one of the things I work with my clients on a lot is really setting up their profile, an online dating profile. And yes, I absolutely do recommend that anyone who's serious about finding a partner in the modern world uses online dating. However, it needs to be done in an intelligent way, in a way that makes you look good and really attracts the type of partner that you're trying to attract. You have to be putting yourself out there in a way that's sending the right messages and is attracting the right people. And I also teach my clients how to use the online dating tools that are available, exist, to narrow in and focus on finding that partner that's right for them. And this is, so it's a dynamic. Partly you're attracting and partly you're seeking the right partner. And again, having that clarity first is really, really important so that you can be really focused in the dating process. And I have tools that help reduce stress in the dating process, because naturally everybody, even, football quarterbacks and supermodels have stress and experience some anxiety and, a little bit of self-doubt and stuff in the dating process. That's totally normal. But I have specific tools that I teach my clients how to use to really reduce the stress that's involved and that is natural to the process. But it really helps people move through the process and go on first dates without as much anxiety and inhibitions that would be there otherwise. And then the other 2 factors in the integrated dating plan, the other two parts, one of them is conversation and connection skills. And this is so once you get to the date, how do you actually connect, with your date or with your ideal partner? Are you able to, establish a good relationship and, really connect with them? I mean, some people do this pretty naturally, but honestly, I think all of us can use some skills in this area. And, for some people more than others, but it's just, I think it's important to focus on those conversation skills and the connection skills, and also healthy boundary setting, so that you're setting up a healthy, good dynamic within your relationship right from the beginning.
Right.
And then the fourth part of this whole process is the personal growth process. And it's, how do you do the inner work so that you're in the right headspace and you're, dealing with challenges as they come up in a healthy way. You're using the healthy stress reduction techniques, and you're growing in the process. Because ultimately, I really believe that, dating is a really optimal opportunity for personal and spiritual growth, because you're putting yourself on the line. I mean, literally, you're putting yourself out there to meet another person, and you are making yourself emotionally available. And, especially if you like the person, emotionally vulnerable to a certain extent. And it's a dance. It's a dance that you have to play every time. And so these are the 4 steps in the integrated dating plan, but it's really an iterative process. So a lot of times a client will come in and they'll get some clarity. I'll help them get at least a first stage of clarity. Then they go on some dates. We get their profile set up. They go on some dates. They practice those conversation and connection skills. And then there's a growth process involved. Usually, something comes out of the date, either, positive or negative. But given that in my experience, working in this over 5 years, it typically takes people between 10 and 20 first dates with people who meet their minimum basic requirements in order to find somebody that they want to really have a deeper relationship with. You're going to be going on quite a few first dates, and there's, most of those are not going to, end up progressing to a second or third date. And so there's going to be inevitably some emotional challenges that come along, and being able to grow in the process is really, really important. One of the things that I say is that, dating is that wonderful tradition where every single one of your triggers, like every single one of your buttons can and will be pushed, often in the span of 20 minutes over coffee. So your buttons are going to get pushed. It's just going to happen. And it's a matter of being able to deal with it and being able to, honestly, I think that that's part of the juice. That's part of the kind of the breaking open process that is part of the beauty and part of the growth process of dating. And then, ultimately you find that person that really brings out the best in you, and you bring out the best in them. I've had a number of clients who have found, even one who got married didn't get married within 4 months, but found the woman that he ultimately married within 4 months. And I find that for people who really apply themselves, they're often able to find a partner within 3 to 4 months.
Well, I think that's a great place to kind of wrap this up. Thank you for today, because we're really looking at the optimistic side of this, especially for people that know what to do. And that's where you help them.
Absolutely. Yeah. So go to unadrake.com and get your Juicy Love Strategy session. I'd love to talk with you.
Awesome. Una, thank you so much. I'm Dr. Pat. We're going to take a short break. More coming up here on Transformation Talk Radio. We'll be right back.
You've been listening to Your Juicy Love with me, Una Drake. Tune in each month as Dr. Pat and I co-host together, creating juicy conversations, and every second Monday at 12 p.m. on Transformation Talk Radio. I interview amazing guests, and you'll learn how to transform your relationships so you can stay juicy. To learn more about me or to listen to past shows, visit my website at unadrake.com.
preceding audio was via a Skype call.